What's up, Facebook family, social media family, 7.5 billion people on the planet. I hope that your day is inspiring. I hope that you're encouraged. And I hope that most of all, you're getting out and getting after the things that you want to achieve. Our lives are filled with constant revelations. And those revelations are things about ourselves. Those things that we feel that we have to learn in order to achieve the things that we set out to do. We fashion ourselves after the environment that we live in, or we reshape our mentality by the things that we read, the things that we watch, or the people that we associate with. But what we very rarely do is that we spend time with ourselves. A true self-discovery is something that you find about yourself from within. You can go to all the seminars, you can listen to all of the great leaders, but the main thing you have to determine is what is there inside of you that makes you want to do the things that you do. What makes you want to chase the dream that you want to chase? What brings you to the reality that this is my moment in time and that I must step out on faith if I'm to achieve anything? Dr. Napoleon Hill always talk about a burning desire. He never just mentioned the word desire. He says burning. And it means that you're so passionate about what you do that there's nothing that can ever quench that thirst other than you just accomplishing what you set out to do. We are set out to achieve great things. And a lot of times that's covered up by what people perceive about us or what we perceive about ourselves. And being able to overcome the perception of other people is vital, but most importantly, you've been able to overcome the perception of yourself. Every person on the planet, I truly believe, has a dream or goal that they want to achieve. And sometimes you don't know how to start. But Les Brown say it doesn't matter about that. Gary Vee says it doesn't matter about that. Antonio T. Smith says it doesn't matter about that. Tony Robbins says it's not about that. The main thing that you're supposed to do is start. And that is difficult for a lot of people. And starting doesn't mean that you're going to get out there and you're going to hit a home run the first time. And if you do that, man, you're very fortunate. But what it means is you're prepping your mind to say, I got to take a chance with my life. I got to figure out what I'm meant to do. And the reason I say that is initially when I started trying to travel the country and find a place that was decent for me to live and pursue my dreams, I decided I'd weigh a couple things in that. Will I be able to help my mom? Will I be able to help my brothers and sisters? And will I be able to show that you can really make dreams come true? That involves a lot of thoughtfulness and desire, but the desire has to be burning. And I departed from Phoenix City, Alabama to Alabama State University, where I received a degree, Atlanta, Georgia, traveled to different cities and ended up in Orlando, Florida, basically because I liked the weather and then I was close to my family. But here I began to see that no matter where I am, I have to be able to set the pace for what I want. And I want to ask you, are you setting the pace for what you want? What rate of speed are you willing to use, and what burning desire that is keeping you fueled to make sure that you do that? And along my travels, I've been fortunate to publish 10 books. And as of last year, I finally finished up book number 6, which brings the total to 16. And to me, trying to express myself to the world, or me just trying to find a way to say to that which is divine, to that which is about faith, to that which is about goals and desires. I had to find myself immersed in the writing material that was coming through me to best describe the feeling that I was feeling at the time that I was going through. And life is inspirational at all times. And when you're chasing a dream, that dream has to constantly be inspired by what's inside of you, not necessarily what's outside of you, because you can get accolades from anywhere. But what drives you, what fuels you, what causes you to get up every single day and go after this dream of yours that you feel that you deserve? And if you deserve it, what are you willing to pay for? Because Dr. Hill said that there's a price for the dream that you choose to chase. If you are going to chase something, you got to be able to give something in return. When I started writing, the initial response to that was not of my own doing. But there was so much bottled up inside of me that I didn't take notice of it. But when I lost my mom, and I began to try to understand what losing someone truly means when you have a dream that is supposed to, number one, not only be able to show that you got out here to achieve it, but most importantly, to show your family what you were trying to do. How many of you have a dream that you want to be able to show the world that you really want to do, but sometimes you hesitate? Hesitation is good if it's going to cause you to reevaluate and then go forward. But hesitation in terms of not pursuing is not good. And Dr. Hill, once again, he says that failure is not the end of the world. Failure is when you quit. When you just get to that point, when you're 3 feet from goal and you just quit. That you feel that you just don't deserve it. You don't have the energy. You don't have the mental stamina. You don't know where the right connections would be. Therefore, you surrender. And when you surrender, what you surrendered was literally what you thought your dream was. And then you go back to being a commoner. And there's nothing wrong with being common if that's where you want to be. But I believe that in a land of opportunity like this, even though it has difficulties, and a land of opportunities such as this in America, where you can be, do, and virtually almost say anything that you want as long as your goal is to get to where you need to be. When you have a place and you're born in a place like that, regardless of the circumstances that you come from, you have the ability to go from what we would call zero to hero, or from hero to zero, and anywhere in between when you begin to make that choice. And when you begin to make sound decisions and you begin to read the right material, you begin to think the right way, then it's easy for you to get out and pursue what you feel you want to pursue, because you're setting up the law of attraction in the universe to give you the opportunity to spread your wings. And here in America, you can spread your wings and you can pursue anything that you desire. And when I began to write, I began to see that we all share a common thread in life. And the common thread, and I'm not trying to sound morbid or sad or anything like that, but the common thread to life is, and please don't take this the wrong way, ladies and gentlemen, when you view this. The common thread to life is that you're born, right? If you're fortunate to come in through this world from a woman, you're born. That's common, but the thread is that you go from birth to death in a process from the time you're born until you're 116 years old. I think that's the oldest living person, or the person that lived to be the oldest. But nonetheless, you go from being born to being from old age, then you got sickness in there, and then ultimately you leave the planet to go somewhere else, right? The main goal that you should have in that thread is, once you begin to truly understand that you only have this life to live and this life that you must understand, then you have to get out in whatever station you are and pursue your dreams. You got a lot of people that constantly tell you that. But my question to you is, are you going to move on that? Or are you going to take the time to say to yourself that this is what I want to do, even if I have to start at the bottom of the ladder and work my way up into what I ultimately see myself doing? Or are you willing to do that? Most people can talk a good game, but very few people walk the game. So you can talk it and make it sound really, really great around a lot of people and not move one iota in the direction that you want, but your conversation sounds good. You know what I mean? Like people can say, this person right here really articulates that dream. Or you can get out like Jack, I think it's Jack Canfield, the guy that wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul. You can get out and start small and envision big and keep working and making connections until you can end up making your dreams a reality. Jack Canfield did the same thing. He got out, he made connections, he worked his way up into the process for him to become a successful writer for Chicken Soup for the Soul, and then he branched out with the 13 Principles, and he was doing those things as he was still learning as he goes. And when I began my writing process, I never began with the sole intention of trying to, as I say, impress the universe or impress the world. What I ultimately needed to do was to pull that which was in me out, to get it away from my mindset so it wouldn't be like a distraction in terms of me being in overall turmoil or pain. And my thing to most of us, a lot of us, we have pain, and some of us just dwell in it. We just wallow in it so much that we drown ourselves. And I would say to you that when you begin to feel that way, then the thing that I would say to you, and I would strongly encourage to you to do, is when you feel like you're drowning in something that you feel that you can't solve, take a pen and write it out. Don't worry about how it comes out. Just write it to get it out. And by doing that, you're releasing pent-up energy and hostilities from inside of your body, and you're putting it on the outside. So therefore, it doesn't have a significant amount of weight in terms of how you're feeling internally. The pain probably won't be eradicated, but it could be dealt with in a very methodical or inspirational way, depending on how you're looking at it. We just got this life. And if there's anything else about this life that we need to know about, I can't really tell you that. But what I can tell you is that while you are in the process of understanding who you are, you must be in the process of pursuing what you feel you were put on the planet to do. And there's a lot of spiritual sayings or spiritual beliefs or practices that people have. And one of them, Dr. Hill explains it, and I think other people say it as well. They say that before you come into the world, you make an agreement with God to say that this is what you want to be, or this is what you're going to pursue, or this is what you're planning on doing. And before you come into the world, that is registered somewhere in the universe. And when you're born, you completely forget it. You can't retain it. You can't hold it. But what happens is, as you grow older, you begin to feel that there's something inside of you turning, and that's something that you need to do. They say that's where the passion is. That's where that dream is, and that's where that promise is. And if 7.5 billion people have made that promise, and then there's still children being born to ensure that they pursue their promise, and the one that passes away, either you fulfilled the promise or you didn't. What's on the other side, we don't know. But you always hear those people that have said that once they've done everything that they felt they needed to do, they have no regrets. And my takeaway from it is, whatever your dreams are, you got to pursue it so that you don't have any regrets. If you can get out every day and focus on being regretless, if that's a word, but to reduce regret so that when you start speaking to people and you start telling them about what you're pursuing, then you're reducing the fact that you have no regrets. I think the best speakers are those that are pursuing things and achieving things and have no regrets. The worst ones are the ones that talk about it, but they still have regrets, and they're trying to convince you to do it. So my message today is that whatever your dreams are, just pursue them. And make sure you pursue them so that when you take assessment for the day, that you have no regrets. And if you can do that, then as Dr. Hill says, Dr. Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich, everybody should read that book every day of their lives, really. If you can find a way to think and grow rich mentally, then anything physically can begin to surround yourself with that, and you can begin to achieve what you want. It's your life. You can listen to whomever you want or not, and you can pursue whatever you want or not. But what I can say, that if you're listening to me in America, you can wake up every day and pursue what you want, regardless of what people think. And I think that that's the beauty of being in a place where your dreams can constantly be pursued every day. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope I share some good insight. I hope that you listen, and I hope that you understand. But whether you do or don't, you have to always understand that your life is always in your hand. Every choice that you ever make is a decision that you make. People outside can influence you, yes, but the ultimate decision is always and will always be you. Until next time, stay powerful.